So I want to introduce everybody to Geraldine Manson, who is one of our elders in residence at Health and Human Services. Welcome, Geraldine. And I wanted to ask you a few questions that had to do with specifically working with First Nations communities. We, in this class, are talking about working with communities in general, community practice, so people who go into specific communities and work with them in social work. And I wanted to pick your...
Before you go,
Oh, sorry.
Before we go right into
Yes.
the question,
Yeah.
Louise, I first want to thank you for even, asking and allowing me to do this. Thanking you first and allowing me to put thought to this and realizing they're going to be for your students online and hopefully down the line I will be able to get Skype and get to meet your students one-on-one and welcome
Yes.
that thought in the future with technology and innovative thinking. So thank you.
Thanks, Geraldine. Yes, and I will encourage the students later to individually contact you for sure. I guess the first question I wanted to ask you, Geraldine, are what are some of the important values that you need to be aware of when you're working with First Nations communities?
I think for some of the values for anyone that to be aware of working for or within First Nation communities is respecting the cultural spaces, respecting the spirituality spaces, and to listen. Really take time to listen. Slow down and listen. And being aware of the space, whether it's the home, whether it's within an office space, the surrounding where you are, with the individual, with a group, with a family. But just being aware. But most of all, listening.
I think that is a huge part of working with people in general,
Yes.
isn't it? Just the listening.
Yes.
And we were just talking about how listening to people who speak differently
Yes.
and think differently from us can be a challenge.
A very huge challenge. One of the tools that we as First Nations use in our culture, the old people say, is the importance of our body. Your tool you carry with you is your ears. If you can learn to put that tool first before your eyes, because your eyesight can be the most deceiving tool of all.
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to help an individual, use your hearing. Because that listening, picking up as a social worker.
Absolutely.
Yes. And to understanding the importance of respecting the protocols of elders, your youth, and the child. Because protocols within communities, they can vary. And if you can capture understanding where that protocol is, and in every community, leadership always put the protocols of your elders first in there. And everyone comes from different places, but everyone brings teachings and contributions. Everyone does.
Mm-hmm. How would you find out what the protocols are in a specific community? What would you suggest to people who would be working there?
I believe, like, if you're going to do your research, like Sanemo First Nation, our protocol, if we have a website up, our protocol would be there.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone with technology nowadays and our governance, we have our protocol there, right their population, you know, do the research on Sanemo First Nation, our population, our governance, who we are, what we're doing, everything. Find out.
So do your work beforehand,
Yes.
before you walk in blind.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's a good advice. What other advice do you think you would have for other students, or social workers who are looking to work with First Nations?
Utmost thing is, like I said prior to that, is work research. Always take time. If the community that you're interested in working in, if the community is close by and you're in that city area, ride through it. Take time. If it's easy, accessible, ride through. Take a ride through the community. Visit the office, the administration office. Visit the website once again. What does the community offer? Take a look. Does it have a school, a band school? Does it have, what type of programs it offers? Does it have, what type of governance? Is it a chief and council? Does it have a hereditary chief type of governance structure?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what are the issues at hand? You know, take a look. You know, what are their struggles? You know, take time. Maybe sit down and go. Take time to go and visit.
And talk to people?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not really talk to people on one to one. You know, stop in. You know, to a center. You know,
Right.
It could be something in. Go onto the archival place. You know, to the newspaper place, and anything under that nation could
Mm-hmm.
be in the archival newsletter, the library, anything that's written on this First Nations
Will be helpful.
would be helpful.
This is what you're talking about. It's really useful because it's interesting because this is in the first semester of this course. We talked a lot about doing research, like getting to know before you go into work with people, getting to know them. Who are they? What are their issues? What does the community consist of? So this is really